you remember how we've always cribbed about there being no real competition to Apple's iPad? Why is the iPad Pro or even the iPad Air with M2 the gold standard when we're talking about tablet devices? Well, it turns out that Android never really upped their game, but one particular manufacturer, Oneplus, seems to have entered the fray with an absolute blockbuster of a device. I can't believe I'm saying this because we've been waiting for this sort of a push from one of the Android guys, and spoiler alert, the OnePlus Pad has gotten a lot of things right, and we're going to tell you a lot more about it in this review on Tech Today. You know how we usually do the unboxing on Unbox Today? I thought let's do it in reverse. So we give you a verdict right at the end. I already told you that this is a spectacular blockbuster from the OnePlus stables. And yes, we are impressed. Now you get a 128 GB storage along with 8 gigs of RAM, and then you get a 12 GB RAM with 256 GB of storage. Well, the inexpensive of those two is 38,000, and this one, the high-end one, is 40,000 rupees. So I think it's a no-brainer. The amount you'd spend on cloud space is what you're getting with this particular device. Well, now that we've told you all about the price, let's also tell you that it looks amazing. And we'll get to the software and the user experience in a bit, but this device busts the myth that Android tablets can't be as good as an iPad or a Windows device. Absolutely mind-blowing in terms of design. It does look like an iPad in many aspects, but it is oddly reminiscent of what OnePlus did with smartphones when they launched their first device so many years ago. I hope and truly hope that they're doing it with tablets now. Now, a little bit more about the specs of this particular device. So the device comes with an 11.6-inch display, and when you use the device you realize that this is a buttery smooth display, even more than the iPad Pro. At 144 Hz, this is so silky smooth to use. It feels like a very premium device, but it is powered by a MediaTek Dimensity chipset and a flagship Android device which is great with multitasking. Look, Google and Android have not done enough. This comes with Android 13. But until Google I/O in a few days, we don't know what they're doing with their tablet ecosystem. But it's good to know that OnePlus has taken the initiative, and with many nifty hacks like this multitasking feature or some of the other things that they've done with gesture control, there is some of the good things from the legacy OnePlus ecosystem coupled with a tablet experience. Even using this keyboard, it feels just like my iPad in terms of how the keyboard, well, how this actually fits on the keyboard. It comes out seamlessly, and the best part about this device is something that Samsung and Apple have not gotten right for so many years, and for that this deserves a special award in a special category, which is the placement of the camera. Some Windows devices did manage to do this. What they did was place two cameras, but then it gets very confusing. Now, I've shown this to you very often before, that when you're using a Apple device, the camera is here. So if you're using it as maybe your Zoom call or a FaceTime call, and you've kept the tablet in this position, you will then realize that you're always looking away from the people that you're speaking to. So it looks like you're cross-eyed over there. The camera placement is spot on over here. It also comes with center focus, so you're always at the center of the frame. It's an 8-megapixel camera, and it gets the job done. Well, the fact that the camera is placed here instead of here, as opposed to an iPad or a Samsung device, is such a small incremental change. I think it's high time that the established players figured this out, and look at how this makes so much more sense. I'm looking at you as the attendee of the Zoom call, paying you the right amount of respect that I should, as opposed to me talking to you now, and it looks so weird, right? This is an absolute game changer, and it's high time the others catch up as well. You want to put it back into, well, PC mode, and there you go. It's snapped on in an instant. The touch is incredibly responsive, and then of course it is quite a good multitasker with some of the features that I just showed you. Now, it's good to see that you have this sort of multitasking experience on a device which is flagship, but then you're not shelling out 60,000 rupees like a Samsung tab. You're getting it for much cheaper, and honestly, the experience is almost as good as any device. Can you compare this to an iPad Air? Well, if you're going feature by feature, I think this does a very good job, and it'll be neck and neck. The issue is not that it's easy to recommend the Oneplus Pad. The Oneplus Pad is great in its own right. Well, the issue is an age-old one, which happens to be an Android tablet, and the systemic issues with the user experience, which are quite refined on iPad OS, and it's still a long way to go unless Sundar Pichai announces something blockbuster at Google I/O. You have to stay tuned to Tech Today for that particular conference. Also, visit techtoday.in for all the updates from that mega developers conference and so much more happening in the world of tech. But what I was trying to tell you is that if you do log into the Google Play Store and download an app, I cannot and nobody can guarantee what that experience will be like. Is it optimized for this sort of a display? Is it optimized for a keyboard experience? Does it work well with the multitasking windows and gesture controls? And more importantly, what's the aspect ratio like? Sometimes you have that issue even with the Samsung Fold or other Android devices which are foldables, and there's no real competition in the Apple ecosystem to a foldable. Look, this is a first attempt by OnePlus to make a tablet, and it's a really good attempt at that as well. But there are a few things which they can perhaps build on with the next version of this particular tablet. One, the way iPad does it with the iPad Air is actually put your biometrics or your Touch ID in the power button. Well, that can be quite a game changer when you're talking about your tablet experience. Also, this comes with an eSIM option. So if you're using this particular device, it'll idly tether or pair with a OnePlus device. But what if you're using an iPhone? At this point, I think it will be decided by software updates, which you must do if you do purchase the OnePlus Pad. The keyboard is an accessory that you can add on to it. The pencil that comes with it, very Apple Pencil-like, and we've used it a little bit, but maybe that requires a separate video on our YouTube and Instagram pages where we'll see what the latency is like, what the response time is like. Is it anything like an Apple Pencil? What do creative people think? I think these are things we will keep building on and understanding with the OnePlus Pad. But this tablet is OnePlus' first attempt, like I said, in this particular space. It's interesting because it feels like OnePlus is finally building on that ecosystem. Now, Samsung's tried to do it, but some of their products are very expensive. Apple has a ready ecosystem. But these are small things and we're really nitpicking. Honestly, this is quite a refined, polished first attempt at a tablet by an Android manufacturer. And under 40,000 rupees, if you can get a device which honestly is ready to take on the iPad in so many aspects, then I think this is perhaps the best Android tablet that we have in the Indian market.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.